down to the river, down to the river, down to the river, down to the sea, down to the river, down to the river, down to the river, down to the sea. There was an old man, foolish and lonely, down to the river, down to the sea. He wanted a girl for his one and only, down to the river, down to the sea. He knew a lady, diamonds and silk clothes, down to the river, down to the sea. Why did he choose her? Can't say that I know. All that he said, will you marry me? Closer to midnight he asked the question, down to the river, down to the sea. Taken aback by his true intention, down to the river, down to the sea. Mary and he were married the next June, down to the river, down to the sea. Went to the seashore for their honeymoon, went where the river flows to the sea. Down to the river, down to the river, down to the river, down to the sea. Down to the river, down to the river, down to the river, down to the sea. 2 years went by and things seemed the better, down to the river, down to the sea. Mary stood by through all sorts of weather, down to the river, down to the sea. Time had its way, though problems came tenfold, down to the river, down to the sea. Wild was the girl, not good for one, so old low grew the tide and rough came the sea. Closer to midnight she gave him his choice, down to the river, down to the sea. Dry were her eyes, she spoke in a clear voice, down to the river, down to the sea. Though past her limits she did demand more, down to the river, down to the sea. And love had its end with slam of the front door, sure as a river runs to the sea. Down to the river, down to the river, down to the river, down to the sea. Down to the river, down to the river, down to the river, down to the sea. Here they walk these halls for the last time, trying to put emotions into rhyme, and round farewells for everyone, and broken promises said and done, and friends were looking for some reassuring sign. Streets were dark and many walked alone, their separate ways toward their former home. Fantastic visions ran through my head of sleeping in some different bed. An inexorable voice behind me said, it was goodbye for now. It was goodbye for then. Soon we'll jump when we hear the telephone ring. Soon we'll be looking at new songs to sing. The old ones clouded memories of knowing where one ought to be, and looking backwards we're too blind to see. It was goodbye for now. It was goodbye for them. It was goodbye for now. It was goodbye for them. Round were wells for everyone, and broken promises said and done, and finding that the war had just begun. It was goodbye for now. It was goodbye for them. It was goodbye for now. It was goodbye for them. Do I see you coming home? Coming home to me? Do I see you coming home? Coming home to me? From your day by the sea. From your day by the sea. Do I see your pockets full of shells? Do I see your pockets full of shells? From your day by the sea. From your day by the sea. Do I see you coming home to me? Do I see you coming home to me? From your day by the sea. From your day by the sea. When I was young, they taught me to walk on my knees. They told me love went hand in hand with fear, and sinners didn't have a chance with please. the scream and thunderstorms that keep us in line. Why must I spend my whole life making amends? Oh, why won't they let the two of us be friends? The people condescend to me when they say, yeah, I remember when I was like that too, when they're so full of their superior way. Oh, why must my footsteps be something to defend? Why won't they let the two of us be friends? I'm stronger now. I'm older now and I'm still standing, never on my knees. One day she said forever. It gave me time for pause. For we were two survivors, scoffing at the laws. But when she said forever, I couldn't help but sigh. She wanted some reality, while life passed me on by. A friend, a written letter, was all she was to me. She knew I didn't love her. I thought that she could see. Then she became demanding. I felt the fist of fear. I thought it was a game we'd look back upon in some future year. She said forever, what could I say? She said forever, I don't think that way. When she put her arms around me, I thought it kind, but soon I felt the lock clicking behind. We parted ways some time back. I was glad to see her go. I couldn't stand the pretense. I couldn't stand the show. It's strange how words can change things. This chance of now or never. The change in the color of the sky. The day she said forever. Songs in the time of order you left for us to sing. Proofs with excluded middles, answers to life in rhyme. Keys of the prison warder and ancient bells to ring. Time was the end of riddles, we were the end of time. Here were domestic oceans and a sky that we might reach. Guns and a guarded border, gauntlets but not to fling. Thousands of old emotions and a platitude for each. Songs in the time of order and tongues that we might sing. Songs in the time of order and tongues that we might sing. And as I wandered down to where you lay, the blood rushed up to meet the roses in your hair. I thought I saw you smile, but now I can't see you anywhere. Ooh, whispering your love song in my ear. Oh, can you touch me when you're not really there? Stumbling out, I made my way towards the open door. Climbing fast, the sunbolt streaming, laughter down into your empty gaze. Where can I find you? Now I want to join in the game. I hear you calling, I hear you calling, calling, calling. Whispering your love song in my ear. How can you touch me? How do you really dare? Home alone, enjoying all the crap they sent me, when they come across a Xerox copy of somebody's hard-on. At first I just about died because I'm straight and all, and I don't go for that kind of kinky stuff.
then I thought, whoa, I could just see some guy going down to the library or post office or somewhere, whipping it out and slamming down the top lid of the copying machine. And Jesus, that would hurt. I mean, if there's some other motive, why couldn't he just go to a tanning bed? I mean, half the human race can do something like that, and yet the guy still calls it art. They call it art. Since I got started in the underground, I can't get enough of it, especially music. Oh, there have been a few does, like the recording of somebody throwing up to a beat. But one day I got this cassette by a pair of so-called artists in Wyoming or some crazy place like that. I'm still excited though. The tape starts playing and everything, and there's nothing. Then some guy starts talking in a very measured, toneless voice, and what he's doing is reciting a computer program. At least it sounds like a computer program. Anyway, this goes on for about 10 minutes. This guy's voice never changing, spewing out numbers and abbreviations and shit like this. Then he says, now we have a bird. The title of the piece, sure enough, is The Bird. I'm saying, what bird? When suddenly there's this tremendous blast of static that nearly knocks me out of my seat. And this goes on for the rest of the tape, you know. What gets me is that on the tape cover it says that a live, in-concert version of these guys can also be had. I can just imagine a bunch of people actually going to see these guys and dancing to their computer programs and their static. I thought, you know, these guys must know something, because I could also talk into a microphone and be boring. And yet they call it art. They call it art. About the height of my frenzy over mail art, I wrote to this guy in Seattle about his watercolor paintings. It seemed nice and normal at the time. I sent $3 to the man asking for a representative sample of his art, you know. I suppose I could hang it in my room if it looked decent enough. But about 5 days later, I get a manila 6x9 envelope, and when I open it, about a dozen little white squares fall out. I get this momentary horror and confirm it by inspecting each of the squares. Sure enough, these are the watercolors, except that all have a single pale pastel streak on them, as if the guy had dipped each of his fingers into a child's watercolor set, streaked a row of index cards, cut them up, and sent them off to the next sucker who sent $3 goddamn dollars. Only one had something besides the finger streak, and this was one in candy apple red that had the letter F streaked on it. I was thinking of a number of F words to call this guy, needless to say. What really blew my mind is that a few months later, I was in Seattle and went to a tiny art gallery near the waterfront. And there, on the east wall, were a number of his watercolor streaks, for sale. I thought that there was money to be made here. Invest a few cents in index cards and watercolors, and of course, plenty of soap. Do my business, and call it art.
Hello out there, from the windswept bluffs of eastern Hoquiam to the outskirts of Montesano. Hello to all you CBers, in or out of various stages of intoxication. It's time for more ostensibly illegal music and poetry on your radio station. The People's Radio Station. Radio Free Aberdeen.
Green colors right here? Yeah. Yeah, that looks nice. Got that full glass in it.
Somebody out there talk to me, or I get busted by the FCC. Skip the channel, somebody, or I get busted by the FCC.
Yeah, easy, you ready?
I'm free to chat, you're free to hear. Come to the hill, you must be near. Night owl's on, so listen up, but don't pay attention or you might veer.
Short shorts are down by the warehouse. The next one in line there. Okay.
Who knows what strange and dark forces roam among the evening backways of Grays Harbor.
So,
You out there, stop at that drag racing along the Port Dock Road.
yeah, we want to do that, bro. I talked to Don there. We want to try to keep in the circle as much as we can. Yeah, boy.
Some people try to put God on the airwaves. Some people try to put God on the airwaves. Some people try to put God on the airwaves. God looks the same, I don't wanna go. Send your money to a man, they say. God's up for listening, gotta pay. No way. And here's a little thrash punk from Victimized Carcass. Smile, you're in Canada Tape Deck. Sounds like a machine. Static action. Static action. Sounds like a machine.
Yeah, we're thinking about spending some time up here.
Check the handle, name's 9 outcome, 10 o'clock, I'm ready to house with the feds are out there crying foul. There ain't no good buddies out there, I heard someone say.
Well, right now we're working up here on
One
the
day.
hill that's out of Aberdeen.
Metaphor for this decade if I ever heard one.
There's Lake Aberdeen, but that's not too good a place to go swimming.
Follow the tacky aerial, veering wildly up the here hill I can hear you. Grace Helen Herbie Heights ain't fooling no one. I can hear the cop siren. Kiss the ground. Kiss the ground.
Yeah, there was 3 or 4 of us thought we'd bring motorhome or
Kiss the ground.
stay around here somewhere, but we want a place to swim.
Kiss the ground.
Go up to Lake Sylvia and go camping. Yeah, that's an idea. That's what we're looking for, something like that. Close.
Convoluting in the deep of the pot you chose to keep. It will get you as you sleep. Boiled dinner. All the carrots and corned beef twist within the cabbage leaf, full of olfactory grief. Boiled dinner. Serve it promptly up at 8, dripping wetly off your plate, and the smell does not abate. Boiled dinner. And you try to up your pleasant, saying, "What a lovely present is this food fit for a peasant." Boiled dinner. And the fat clings to the meat, and the food tastes weirdly sweet, and you're shifting in your seat. Boiled dinner. So what's your problem now? People ask, I mean they shout, and you're about to have a cow. Boiled dinner. It's primal. It's primal. It's primal. It's primal. Well, a sight it is not pretty, this revenge of Boston City. It's rejected by your kitty who'll eat anything but boiled dinner. Breathing the oily steam, it just makes you want to scream. Oh, this food processor's dream, boiled dinner. So you take it in the kitchen, and in private you start itching for the garbage disposal's mission. Boiled dinner. But the dog he runs and hides, and the birds jet to the skies, and the philodendron dies. Boiled dinner. At that time you hear a sound like a bomb blast underground, but you shouldn't turn around. Boiled dinner. Something's lurking in the pot. What it is, you know what not, but you're going to have it shot. Boiled dinner. It's primal.